Well, there are things happening. Going to be talking about players in, players out, and coaches who aren't coming, which is about all we know so far. And maybe a few other bits and pieces. For the meantime, this is WVU Football Going Deep for fans who like to think as well as cheer. And I'm a little, if you notice some extra pauses, it's because I'm still trying to process some of what's been happening and what's been not happening. And because I forgot to have any extra caffeine before I started this. I am Forrest Poston with or without caffeine. And I do hope you will subscribe. Hey, and I do want to point out that since I'm now officially over 500, went through all the process with YouTube, you will find a little button down there that says thanks, which will allow you to actually help out the channel. And I hope some of you will. And then we'll be able to do super chats and that sort of thing if I get back into any live broadcasts. Now, please subscribe, please share, please make comments, click the thumbs up, click the notification bell that almost never rings because YouTube is YouTube. All right. Now, I'll do some players first. The breaking news, saw this on 24/7 Sports just before starting the video. West Virginia has a commitment from their third player in the portal. That is Walter Youngbear, offensive lineman, likely to play guard. He's coming over from Tulsa. He's got the size. And, of course, we lost Tomas Rimac and to the portal, and Hubbard to graduation. So I mean, we've got talent on the team. I am not guaranteeing that he starts. He's got 1 year remaining, so he has more experience than some of the guys at West Virginia currently. But what about talent? We'll see. And, of course, fit in the Rodriguez blocking system. So before that, we also got a commitment, and these two you've probably heard about. Jordan Scruggs, a cornerback out of South Alabama, and Orrin Singleton, a wide receiver, probably play the slot from Eastern Michigan. He's one of the small speed, shifty kind of guys. Got in on him and quickly enough to make me think maybe they knew, Day Farmer was leaving well in advance. And, but I don't consider him a replacement for Farmer. Again, he's got 1 year. Now, I should mention all three of these. Yeah, I think all three, at least two of them, spent 1 or more years at the JUCO level, which may change their eligibility based on a new court ruling. Have to see how that plays out. Right now, it's just an injunction for this year. I will be doing a separate video on that. It's starting to look like college players will have infinite eligibility if somebody doesn't wise up in a hurry. All right. Now, also added, I covered all three of them. Personally, I don't think any of these guys are starters. I think they are depth material. And we're going to need a lot of depth material. Between graduation and the transfer portal, we're going to be losing a lot. And you can't replace, everybody who leaves with a starter because there's only so many starting spots. So we'll see how this plays out. And Boy, you can say that about a lot of things right now. We'll see how it plays out. But 3 commitments. There were several other people who were in for official visits, waiting for word from them, and we'll see how it goes. On the player out side of things, not the portal, evidently, and this is currently unofficial, but close to official. Chris Marshall, 24/7 Sports, called it unofficially official. The word seems to be definite, just no formal statements made as yet, but it appears that both Traylon Davis and Preston Fox are done. Evidently retiring. Both have graduated, so they don't need to play football. But, of course, Preston Fox has had, last 2 years at least, he's definitely had some significant injuries. So it may be a medical thing for him. I know Davis was not a favorite. He was the grunt worker. He did have one nice big catch earlier in the season. And that was fun to see because, like a lot of the players, he was a guy you rooted for. He didn't always, make the grade, but he did play a significant role. Kind of sorry to see him go, although I do think Jack Samarco would have taken his place. So, just what role he would have had on the team, don't know. Hate to see Preston Fox in this way. He is just a terrific story. Local kid, walk on, work his way up to scholarship. Yes, he missed some catches along the way. He also made some of the finest catches in WVU history. And it's unfortunate. His status would be much higher if the team had more wins. You don't remember big plays on, a losing season or, 500 season. You just remember the plays that turned that kind of season into a big season. And Fox made a number of those kind of catches, but overall things didn't work out. And I probably need to do a video kind of about some of that, talking about some things with the defense. I've been thinking about that more. Have some theories about why things went badly on the defensive side and why they kind of kept going downhill. But that's not for this video. So, 3 players in, 2 more players out, and Preston Fox just, on a talent, he hurts on a talent level, but man, he just hurts awfully bad on a story level. He was, in many ways, what West Virginia football is about. With the portal, I also want to remind people, of course, once a player is in the portal, it doesn't matter if the portal closes. So the guys who are in West Virginia has time to go and get guys. And remember that for the West Virginia players, the portal is open for 30 days after Coach Brown was fired. Runs out right around the end of the year. So even when the portal is officially closed for most, we could hear more West Virginia news after that. And then April 16th or thereabouts, I think, the spring portal opens for 10 days. And things will get interesting once again. On the coaching news, Clint Trickett was named quarterback coach at Jacksonville State. Rick Trickett is evidently staying at Jacksonville State. I don't know if he was waiting on that announcement to make his decision if it was already leaning one way or another. But that would seem to be the if he needed a tipping point, that was it. You guys close out his coaching career, working with his son, and as I mentioned, he's at the point where I'm not convinced he wanted to come back and deal with West Virginia winters again, even if they have typically been somewhat milder these days. A mild West Virginia winter is still significantly different from a Jacksonville, winter. Now, there was talk before that Trickett had until Monday to make his decision, and then a lot of dominoes would fall based on that. So the talk was we would be hearing news Monday. This is Monday. Well, it's still, it's mid-afternoon Monday. Things could happen. But we do not have a coordinator. I'm not saying panic, but we do not have a coordinator on either side of the ball. Now, unless we've got the two coaches coming up from Jacksonville. One was a wide receiver coach, one an inside receiver tight ends coach, and we have Blaine Stewart. And the two coming up from Jacksonville are not official, but it is theoretically possible one of those guys is going to be the offensive coordinator, and it hasn't been announced. Rich Rodriguez calls his own plays. Most offensive coordinators aren't going to want to come in and not call plays. If you are working your way up the ladder, okay, you do that. We already had Rod Smith go to Marshall instead of WVU, which might have been because he didn't want to wait and see, and might have been because he wanted to call his own plays. And for that matter, Rich Rodriguez may decide to be offensive coordinator. I don't know. It's not a great idea. It's not what he was doing. Don't know. But Rodriguez did say he would make defensive coordinator a priority if he's focused on guys who are still coaching because of bowl games or because of the playoff. That's going to delay things. And again, it is a problem. It was a problem hiring head coach. It affects things. The playoffs, the playoffs especially because they last until freaking January 20th. And we got to figure out some way to keep this, and not just West Virginia, college football, there has to be some way of not having this affect coaching hires quite so much, and I'm not sure how we're going to get around it. Hopefully we will hear news soon. And personally, I think you want a defensive coordinator to get in there and have some say in who the assistants are. Maybe things are essentially in place, but can't announce them yet. Don't know. Am I starting to itch? Yeah. But for now, we just kind of have to sit and wait, which is one of the hardest things a person can do. But that's what we got. Okay, so we have added 3, lost 2 coaches. We haven't added, but other teams have, and that will affect the decisions at West Virginia. So I would think we should hear something soon. Of course, tomorrow's Christmas Eve, Wednesday, Christmas. Don't expect anything on Christmas Day. So maybe something Tuesday, Thursday, maybe still today. All right, I'm going to get out of here. and shoot the video about the junior college ruling, and I'll talk to you maybe pretty often these days. Again, thanks to everybody who subscribed, got me up to this level. So long.